Okay, so here's a shot of what I did. You can see I scooted the master cylinder in quite a bit in order to get some good angle on it so I could show you. But you can see the two little eyelets from the C-clip, and you can see that I've got the push rod in place. So the next thing you want to do is get your seal in there. So you take that, and then that covers everything up. Now there's a little adjustment so that you can adjust where you want your lever to line up. You want to get it past that or on that. I got to put it on so it's just a little bit past that, and then use a dental tool to kind of work it in a circle back out. I go past it on account of that way you can get into it a little bit. You want to be careful with your C-clip. If you go and address it by just squishing the thing in, they actually bend and get memory. That's why the old one failed. Somebody had, let's see, I don't have it off of this, but basically what happened is somebody pinched it a little bit too tight, trying to make life easier by making it go on there. Yeah, forget it. Basically they just pinched it too tight and then it wasn't able to expand because it was bent. So you want to be careful. Okay, so I've got everything with the handle and whatnot torn down. You got a little square nut, and that goes on first. I say square because it's not hex, it's just literally it's freaking square. So that goes in first, and then you've got your little pivot part that this goes through. They go on together at the same time, and then you've got this that stands on the round end of that. I don't know if I'm getting this on film very good, but you can see it's slotted square for that. And then you've got a little lock nut that goes on at the end. So that's how I'm going to put it on. Okay, so I've got the boot all seated in place, and I screwed on the square nut all the way back. I just hold that still, and then the end of this is a flathead screwdriver. So you spin that counterclockwise and I'll tighten that down in there. Next thing you do is you take your lever, you load in the little round piece that it pivots on with the square end. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's got the square end to the square nut, and you slide that into place until it seats down in there. You can see they fit together nice and snug. Next thing you want to do is you take your square spacer, and the rounded end goes on first. Line up the rounded end to be to the horizontal plane so that it goes to the end here. Just basically you just want everything to fit together the way that it should. And this one just doesn't want to get in there. There we go. You see the way that fits into there. I wish these would zoom in better, they just don't. Then you take your lock nut and tighten that on the end. Take your bolt and put that in there. And then I'll go through and tighten everything down. I'll dig up a nut out of my stuff and put a nut on the bottom end of there. So, and that's how you fix it. Now, once you get everything in, there's one other thing that you want to do. You want to bleed it. When you pump it, you'll usually get a lot of air and it'll build pressure, but it won't go all the way. You want to push down with one hand, and then with the other hand you crack this open where the line goes on, and it'll bleed out air, and then you tighten this, and then you let this back out. Pump it a couple times, hold it down, loosen this, let the air out, tighten it down, and then let it back up, and then so on and so forth until it becomes hard. If that doesn't work, then remove, and you got to add fluid the whole time because you'll be getting lower and lower. If that doesn't work, then you got to come down here to your bleeder screw and bleed it down here. Most of the time the air gets all trapped up in there and that's enough, but if not, then you do the same process. Push down with your left hand, and then with your right hand you open up this bleeder screw. You know, take the rubber cap off, of course, put a 10mm wrench on it, loosen it, tighten it, you know, in sequence. So anyway, I hope that's helpful to you. If it is, rate, thumbs up, favorite, subscribe, and have fun. Okay, so we got the brake master cylinder all done, everything's put together and bled. Watch that front tire. We got brakes. And the most effective way to bleed this out So just tap the lever, you watch in the reservoir, and you see the bubbles come up just going like that. It worked really good. So, hope you enjoy.